So we'll start this forecast by looking at temperatures for the next 2 weeks or so heading into Christmas, and some of those predictions for very deep, very cold weather to come into December and do through Christmas. Looks like the certainty is getting higher and higher on that. Lucky us, you love when your meteorologists are right about a hunch. So I just picked a random place on the map here, somewhere in the Caribou, somewhere close to Quesnel, and just giving you an idea. It's Monday at 11 a.m. here, and you can see the polar air mass over top of planet Earth. It's not that big, but it's pretty deep where it is. Nonetheless, if you're in that purple, that's the extreme cold. The green is above zero, the light blue is just below. Monday, as that snow system starts moving through, that's going to be the story of the day on Monday, really, but you see the temperature is going to start dropping in behind that weather. 2 a.m. Monday. Look some of them purples in the Peace region. You know you're going to be in the minus 20s. Oh, and look at that, Quesnel. You're going to get to see some minus 20 yourself. Here's 11 a.m. 23, minus 20, 17. Starts to warm up by noon. Warm up. Minus 15's hardly warming up, though. Maybe on Mars. Oh, Tuesday night. Lots of purple. That Peace region, you're going to be getting it again. Blue River, Vail Mount. That dark purple cold is coming for you. All along that Rocky Mountain Trench. It's going to kind of work its way down. So anyone in eastern BC, you're probably going to get a pretty shockingly cold experience Wednesday. But hey, minus 18 in Quesnel, that's not exactly awesome. So Merry Christmas. I bring you great news. Someone on Weather Watchers asked me today, why do you bring us such bad news? I said it's so you can all share in my existential suffering. 10 p.m. Wednesday, 11 p.m. Northern BC, frigid. Even down into Vancouver, you're going to be hovering 0 or below, and that's generally enough to make a cold weather alert down there. People can freeze to death so easily in such a wet climate. That's even the worst. Minus 21 Thursday at 10 a.m. I can't wait to be out working in the bush in this. Thursday, very cold day. You see, one of the things that's driving this is that look at it, it's sort of crazy looking over above northern Ontario. Got this deep sort of low that's just feeding all the cold air down, and it's bringing some of that pleasant extreme air to places like Winnipeg. Face will freeze right off in the wind. Thursday, just a bitter cold day in BC, in the prairies. Alberta, no Chinook for you this week. That high pressure now sitting over the lower Rocky Mountains. Friday morning, pulling all that cold air right in, keeping her cold. Now, what is going to happen this weekend is significant snowfall, especially in the south coastal mountains, I should say, on Vancouver Island mountains. That will trigger a little bit of a warm-up for the rest of the province, but a warm-up is, relatively speaking, as we get towards Christmas Day, which, if models hold out, could be extreme cold. We might have be hitting close to minus 30 in some parts. Here in Wells Barkerville, for example, that's what one model's suggesting. Minus 28 at night, Christmas night. You see when that low is coming in Friday, and it's pretty big, pretty deep. 997 millibars, central low pressure. It's pulling some warm air up from the south with it, dumping precipitation. And we'll get to those precipitation numbers in just a couple minutes here. And there's just a great overview of some of that cold Arctic air even getting down to the United States into probably Colorado, even northern Texas getting below zero. Places I don't see a lot. Well, we just had all that tornado weather down there, and you see some of that hot weather along the Gulf Coast of the United States. Who knows how this may all play out in the next 2 weeks. You see where it greens up in the central part of the United States there. That's telling. Next week, Sunday, 1 week from today. That's about as warm as she's going to get. Minus 9 next week, Sunday. For Quesnel, at least. Places south a little warmer, places north a little colder, probably. Elevation dependent here in British Columbia. Everyone lives at slightly different levels above sea level. Minus 17. Oh, you just love to see that. Next week, Sunday. 1 a.m. Minus 19. Oh boy, at 20. So those are some real numbers. Again, you see low pressure there developing in the United States. Pocketed green there in the bottom right hand of the screen. I'm curious what kind of triggers that'll bring for weather, but I'm not going to speculate on someone else's forecast a week ahead of time because I'm trying just to look at British Columbia and how awful ours is going to be. That gives you a pretty good picture for at least the next 8 days. No real warm-up in sight. No afternoons above zero likely to happen for most places in BC. And quite possibly some real extremely cold nights. Seeing that minus 20 popping up again and again as we watch through this video. And that's just looking mostly at Quesnel because that's close to me and it's a central place in British Columbia. Seems as good a place as any to pick sometimes. So here's what the GFS model says we could see for snow over the next 10 days in British Columbia. Maybe 7 centimeters in Quesnel there, seeing as we were just focused on you. But look down south near the Vancouver Island Mountains, 47 centimeters of snow in some places. Okay, 63 centimeters in, oh, there you go, 53.8. That's some pretty high numbers. If you jump over to the north coast, the coast mountains there, the North Shore Mountains in Vancouver, you're going to see much the same sort of thing. In fact, higher numbers, well, there's 59. If you go to the ECMWF model and check the other model, you'd be surprised. 88 centimeters, though, that's pretty high. 76. We'll go to ECMWF. They're saying even more snow. 120 centimeters, that's 1.2 meters. Yep. So some of them mountains in the North Shore, you can imagine that's going to change the snowpack, although hopefully this cold weather will actually help firm the snow up a little bit. Maybe the extra weight on them will even help too. So with any luck, we'll see. Well, just look at Prince George's forecast here. I mean, lots of minus 20s in your forecast over the next week. Here you go. Minus 21s at night, minus 27s at nights. Yeah, so, you know, be prepared for the fact that it's not going to be all that pleasant to wake up in the morning when you have to go to work. And you still got a couple weeks before your Christmas holidays. See some big snow totals. So let's start with today and look at snowfall over the next week in British Columbia. Here we are, Sunday today, and you see that low is swinging all that precipitation around, and it's hitting sort of the cold air of British Columbia, the mountains and all that, creating snow. Vancouver seeing lots of snow in their extended forecast. My one friend commented she'd never seen so many days of snow icons in a row in a 14-day forecast. I'm not sure I have or not either. So Monday being probably the snowiest day this work week for most people. Maybe not significant through the BC interior, but you know, some places may see a little more than others. A couple pulses of snow coming across. That low pressure. Definitely around Revelstoke and places, seeing some good totals. Tuesday morning, still lots of snowfall in some of those places. But you can see she's starting to move out, and that cold air is starting to move in. And our temperatures plummet as the snow disappears. That's why I always like seeing snow in the forecast, because usually it means it's going to be warmer. At least warmer than some of the weather we're going to be seeing. So Wednesday, mostly clear. High pressure developing. Over in the prairie, starts spilling over to the Peace into northern BC. Into Prince George area. Into Germantown Landing. Starts sucking cold air straight down. Starts seeing some of those minus 20 nights. That big H is generally a cold weather icon in the winter. Perhaps a little bit of snowfall in the Peace and the Rocky Mountains Thursday. Perhaps not significant, but spilling over to Alberta. We like sending you our snow, Alberta. Again, Thursday, pretty clear for BC, pretty cold. And that's when on the horizon, the next low pressure that we were looking at earlier starts to make its way in. And then Friday morning, you start getting that snowfall totals in the Coast Mountains north. Then finally all across Vancouver Island, Coast Mountains. Then some of that big heavy snowfall starts in Washington. Some of that heavy snowfall in Vancouver Island. Intense precipitation you see moving through in a long band there. Saturday morning, 1 a.m. Dumping all across BC. It's like a pattern where every week, Friday, Saturday, tails through on Monday, a couple clear days through the work week. Some of that snowfall total down in Washington State there, I mean, that red is telling you it's like 25 centimeters over 3 hours that it's fallen. That's a lot of heavy snow. Couple extended hours of that, and you have serious accumulation coming across. But yeah, most of this again is totaling in that southwestern corner of the province. let's just rewind, look at next weekend one more time, see some of that snow, how much she's going to be coming down, how hard. Whistler must be just getting some pretty good snowfall totals by now. A couple more weekends of this. 10 centimeters, so look at that, looking 3 centimeters an hour. Pretty heavy snow. Not quite as heavy as those reds down in Washington State, but over Revelstoke, 8.5. Look at that east of Williams Lake, 6.8 centimeters, so 2 centimeters per hour. Fairly good accumulation, just enough to make the roads disastrous. It's a weekend snow story.